Hello friends, I am Chevy. Welcome to my shed. How are you doing tonight? Hope you're doing well. Hope your world is great. Let me know. Love hearing from you. So last night at game night, I made a statement, and that statement turned into a little bit of an argument. Not like, we're all friends and adults, so it wasn't like, people at a shouting match. But groups of us strongly discussed our opinions, and my group was made up of me, and the rest of the group was against me. And I understandably, maybe I was a little too affronting with my argument, and that argument was over a particular game called Pandemic. Now, a group played Pandemic last night, which I hadn't seen brought to the table in a very long time, and I just absolutely refused to play Pandemic. I don't consider it a game so much as a solitaire a solitaire experience that more than one person can participate in. And when I said that, well, I didn't say that last night, but what I said last night was there's no choices. I don't like the game because there's no choices. And everybody was like, that was categorically false, right? There's obviously choices. If there weren't choices, then it wouldn't be a game, it would be an activity. And even most activities have choices. But what I think when I said that, I believed it at the time, but after processing it for the last day, I don't necessarily disagree with what I said. I don't think Pandemic has enough meaningful choices, and that's the difference. Meaningful choice. And what I mean by that is, in the game, in Pandemic, if you're not aware of what it is, you're trying to save the world from disease, right? Each player has a character. Characters have powers. Those characters can move about and execute their powers to help. So one character might help another player move their character. One character might be really good at removing a particular disease, whatever it might be. And then you have a deck of cards that just kind of keeps the disease engine pumping. It keeps putting out more disease. It keeps changing the play of the game. So essentially, you as the characters have to decide how to use your actions to move about this board and eradicate these diseases. And obviously, there's choices in that matter. I don't remember how many colors of diseases there are. I think there's 4. And if you can eradicate one disease, it can't come back, and that's good. You don't necessarily have to eradicate diseases to win, depending on the difficulty level, such and such, such. Okay, the thing is, in my opinion, let's phrase that, the choices that you have to make are essentially at least half of what you think they are. And that's when I don't like particular games. Let's say we have a game. Let's not talk about something else. Let's talk about Uno and what makes Uno categorically bad. Because you have a handful of cards, and when it's your turn to play, this handful of cards could be completely useless. You literally don't have a choice what you can do, right? Because you simply can't play a card, which means you have to draw cards. That's a bad design choice, right? And doing something like playing a wild, and you get to choose the color, while that seems like a choice, it's really not. Because it doesn't matter what you pick. The game itself is built on the fact that nobody has an advantage. There is no strategy. You just play cards, right? And a lot of that can be said for Pandemic and similar games where you have this whole plethora of choices, but really only about a small fraction of those choices will actually affect the gameplay. And in that small fraction, some of them are obviously weighted more than the others. So if I have a game that has all of these choices, but these 10 are literally meaningless, they do nothing, then why are they in the game? Oh, it adds replayability. It adds variance. No, it doesn't. It's just false, right? Pandemic could be the exact same game if it only had 2 different types of virus, or even just one, right? the added variance means nothing, because if I can ignore this, then it doesn't need to exist. And to me, that's, I don't know, that's the product of false replayability. The illusion, the red herring, I guess, the illusion of choice. And I don't like it when I prefer games that give me options that are extremely close in value, but my best judgment is going to determine which one is the best for me. And in games like that, where the best choice is mathematically the best choice, and it's fairly simple to calculate, I'm just playing the odds. And either I win or lose by this deck of cards that determines the odds. And at that point, I'm just roll dice and see what happens. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I probably am, because a lot of people love that game. I just simply can't stand it. I just don't think it's worth playing. Just my opinion. But we had a good discussion about it, and I've had a good think about it. And I will say that I was wrong to say that there are no choices in Pandemic. I just think that the amount of choices is artificially inflated to make the game feel heavier, and it's really not. There's really only a couple of choices every round. My opinion. Again, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being amazing friends. I really do appreciate you all coming back every day. I'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, Doc, wait! I want to ask you something.
Today's random fact comes from kidshealth.org. Can tonsils grow back after being removed? During a tonsillectomy, most of the tonsils are removed. However, some tissue often remains, so tonsils can occasionally regenerate, although they probably won't grow back completely or to their original size. If you're worried that your child's tonsils are growing back, talk to your doctor. I did not know that.